change.
Time to get up and get ready, for the hottest morning show in the ATL. It's the Wake, Bake, and Coffee Morning Show, live with Georgia First Black Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the most interactive radio show live. We bringing the hottest news, the illest independent artists, and a whole lot of love, baby. Okay. It's time to get up, roll up, sit back, and ride. Yeah. To the Wake, Bake, and Coffee Morning Show. Yeah. With your host, Georgia's First Black Governor. Yeah. Welcome to the WakeBake and Coffee Morning Show. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? We here for another special edition of the Mama Quita Love Series. I thank everybody for tuning in. Good morning, Miss Terry. Good morning, Jason. Big Juice, I see you over there on YouTube. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button on everything, especially YouTube. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share. I promise you, Mama Quita got a word and a message for everyone today. So, welcome. How's everybody doing? How you feeling? Hopefully everybody is good. Hey, Mama Quita.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sound like you got drainage, Mama Quita.
Yeah, these allergies are kicking in full effect.
Never mind.
It's all right though.
I'm pretty sure Jason picked up on the joke. But don't worry about it. You good in my book. Pretty sure Jay picked up on the joke. Oh man. So it's a beautiful day, man. Listen, if it's beautiful where you at, go on outside. Be like Michigan. Go outside. So Mama Quita, what you got for us today? I don't have no loves, no words of wisdom. I didn't even look. That's bad, right?
Yeah, because you were supposed to be ready.
I know. See, what had happened was, right?
Started off wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me change that up. I just overslept. I didn't.
Yeah, let's just be honest about it and keep it moving.
Yeah, I just overslept. But it ain't like I can't fire one. You know, you know. But other than that, though, Mama Quita, how have you been? The world misses you.
I'm wonderful. I can't argue. I can't. God has been wonderful in my life. How about that? And if you can't be appreciative, I'm about to give y'all inspirational rant right now.
Okay, that works.
If you can't be appreciative of all the things that God has given you, let me run down the list of things that you should be grateful for. You woke up this morning. Your family or friends woke up this morning. You have breath in your body. You have the movement of your limbs. You can move your arms, your hands, your feet, your legs. You can walk. If you can't walk, you can write. If you can't write, you can think. You woke up this morning in your right mind. Not that you had a nervous breakdown yesterday. Some of you all did. But even if you did, you know what? He saved you and kept you here for even to get up this morning. You woke up, you're in good health. If you're not in 100% health, you in good enough health to be breathing. So that means you have a purpose here on this earth. You have not been taken out yet. So can you just say, God, I thank you for waking me up this morning, being in my right mind. You can think, you can move. A lot of you all have gifts that you're sitting on top of, whether it be a gift to write, whether it be a gift to sing, whether it be a creative gift where you can just create things. You're artistically gifted, whether it is just to be a word to somebody else. Maybe you're a nurturer, or maybe you're a lover. Maybe it's so many things that you can just say thank you for. I was talking to my group of women, and it's funny because God had given me the idea of thinking about the gifts and the talents that He has given you and how so many of us sit on them and don't use them. You're going to be held accountable. Let me say that first of all. But the old saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Absolutely correct.
Why would you want to lose something that is so amazing? And then the thing is that most of us have gifts that means they come natural to you. And if they come natural to you, you automatically think that everybody can do it. And one of the things that I had to learn, even dealing with my daughter and my middle son, what I thought was just normal and common sense, it was not. It is a gift. The fact that you can read on point, that you don't have a disability in that area, that's a gift. The fact that you have common sense, I thought that common sense was just common to everybody. No, that's a gift. Everybody does not have common sense. Everybody can't just think on the spot. The ability to think and create on the spot, and your mind moves that fast, that is a gift. Everybody can't do these things. So may I heed you to be appreciative of all that you have, because everybody does not have them. So this morning, when Dove says, what are you thankful for? What are you grateful for? I think we all have something to be thankful and grateful for. There's not one person that is watching. There's not one person that has breath in their body that does not have something to be grateful for. All right, that's my inspirational rant.
So that's your inspirational rant? I ain't mad at you. So, guess what? We're going to take a break. I finally got a Portia Kirkland words of wisdom. So we're going to take us a break, and we're going to come right back with Portia Kirkland words of wisdom. And y'all also know, what time it is. It's the Mama Queen of Love series. We'll be back with more of the WakeBake and Coffee Morning Show right after this.
Yeah, man, she been out here wilding out a little bit. Auntie Jody want me to talk to her. Hold on.
So you ain't gonna let me come in?
Maybe next time.
Next time? All right, then I'll wait on it.
All right.
Right there.
Bye.
Bye.
This her right here. I'll hit you back.
Hey.
What's going on? Yo, let me holler at you real quick.
I know reality can cut you when you're facing it. It's better than the fantasy that you replace it with. Compliments and attention, the likes and mentions can lead you astray when you be chasing it. You say you're a bad chick who likes bad boys. That's probably why you stay in bad relationships. If you only knew the worth of your love, girl, maybe you would see the value in you saving it. And they say, why would he buy the cow when he gets his milk for free? If he won't make you wifey, why give him your husband's luxury? Then he does a 180 when he's sick of you. It's easier to leave what you're not committed to. So you cried yourself to sleep that night, and you woke up a different you. That isn't you. Do you know who you are? Do you know you're a star? You're a star. A whole galaxy, baby. A whole galaxy, baby. Out here looking crazy, looking crazy. Do you know you're a queen? You're a queen. The offspring of a king. Offspring of a king. You a royalty, baby. You are royalty. If you didn't show your body, would he notice you? If now I give him the pleasure of even knowing you. And though you love it when your body make his head turn, it'll turn away when someone show him more than you. Does he take advantage of you when you broke down to pick you up cause he believe in you when no one do? And if he know that you a gift, he gon' wait for you. And if he won't, did he really deserve to open you? No. And they say, why would he buy the house if you let him live in it for free? He don't wanna be no husband, but wants you to be everything a wife should be. Then he does a 180 when he's sick of you, cause it's easier to leave what you're not committed to. I guess you got so tired of crying, you died then just became what he did to you. That isn't true. Do you know who you are? Do you know you're a star? You're a star. A whole galaxy, baby. A whole galaxy, baby. Out here looking crazy, looking crazy. Do you know you're a queen? You're a queen. The offspring of a king. Offspring of a king. You a royalty, baby. You are royalty. You a royalty. Baby girl, you're amazing. Just wanted to tell you that. And love can be shown. Don't let nobody just tell you that. I know you done been through hell and back. Just looking for love in the wrong places, yet to find where it's at. So that's where you settle that. So you settle with love, settle for lust, huh? All you ever learn from a man is never to trust one. So you did everything right, you made him a great wife. The problem is that man was never your husband. Your feelings are hurt, you live and you learn, no. But never give him what he ain't willing to work for. See that Benz he paid for, he had to save for. It just goes to show you, what he won he'll wait for. Real talk. Do you know who you are? Do you know you're a star? You're a star. A whole galaxy, baby. A whole galaxy, baby. Out here looking crazy, looking crazy. Do you know you're a queen? You're a queen. The offspring of a king. Offspring of a king. You a royalty, baby. You are royalty. You a royalty. Do you know who you are? Do you know you're a star? You're a star. A whole galaxy, baby. A whole galaxy, baby. Out here looking crazy, looking crazy. Do you know you're a queen? You're a queen. The offspring of a king. Offspring of a king. You a royalty, baby. You are royalty. You a royalty.
Yeah, that is Brizzle with Royalty right here on the WakeBake and Coffee Morning Show. We are back. We're live, man, from the ATL to the world over. Here to spread this gospel like when Jesus walked on the water. Right. So, welcome. It's the Mama Queen of Love series. And welcome back to the part of the show we call Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom. We good. We good. Jason on Facebook said, "What's going on, y'all? We good, man. You know, praying for all you New Yorkers, because y'all can't come outside for nothing."
About that.
Except that fight you put on the train that you posted yesterday.
Wait a minute.
I did see that. I shook my head. I was like, only in New York. Only in New York. Right. So, it's time for Miss Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom. And it's almost up the alley of your inspirational rant this morning. Right. Oh, he said, "Oh, we outside." I know that. Trust and believe. I got a daughter that goes outside every day. That I know. So your Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom for this morning says, God will give you the opportunity to love a few times a day. Oh, man, I'm in the wrong city. Ain't no basketball courts over here. I'm sorry. Oh, man. It said God will give you the opportunity to love a few times a day. They won't always be people you like. It could be people you like but fall short. It might mean forgiveness. It might mean patience. It might require humility. But God will give you the chance to show his love through you. Life's too short, y'all, not to take him up on the offer. Sometimes you might not succeed, but at least try. God will give you the opportunity to love a few times a day. Mama Quita.
You got it.
This is the love series.
Yeah. Excuse me. Uh-oh. Yeah, that was ugly. Be right back.
So, God will give you the opportunity to love a few times a day. And it's true. Sometimes you gotta love people you don't like. It could be people you do like, but you still fall short on that. Because it's something that they done did that you haven't forgive them for. And then too, to be able to love certain people sometimes a day, she's right. It requires a little patience. And it might require a little humility. The scripture for this season has been, if those people who are called by my name will humble themselves. Before he asks you to repent, before he asks you to pray, before he did all of that, the first thing God said was to humble yourself. God will give you a chance to show his love through you. And what I learned about being able to show his love, I've learned it all boils down to where your heart is. What's the intent of your actions? What is the motive? See, a lot of people do things with a motive. It's never just, let me call Jay. Yo, Fanny, how you doing, bruh? You good? How you doing, Big Juice? You good? No, most people gonna pick up the phone and be like, yeah, son, you good? Oh, and by the way, either it's gonna be some gossip, some mess, they want some, need something. So you are given a few times a day to let God love work through you. But are you in a forgiving stage? Do you know what it means to be patient? Can you show some type of humility? You can't humble this city. Look at, right. Well, Atlanta is the same way. Atlanta got all the parks packed. It's so crazy that the news is out in the park telling on them, and they still don't care. But to humble yourself, and that's just with people that you deal with on a daily basis. A boss, children, person driving down the street that cut you off. Where your heart at? Where your heart at? What's your true intention? Because he cut you off, or you think somebody talking about you, or you feel this kind of way. And a lot of the times, that comes from the fact of what we have been through. Good morning, Mr. Greg. That comes from our past. Our past make our heart ugly. It's hard to forgive. It's hard to be patient. It's hard to get humble because it's hard to move on. And you can't be used to love if your heart is hardened. I'm sorry.
You're right.
But you are given a few opportunities every day. But the choice is always yours. God would never override your will, even though he would like for your will to line up with his will. But because you have free will, he gives you a choice.
He gives you a choice.
You have choices. Man, come back to New York, bring your friend, all that you're talking will change. Now, I'm still going to say the same thing. the question becomes, is the person that I'm talking to willing to receive? Because I'm in Atlanta, and I'm not in Metro Atlanta. You know, all the pretty stuff that they show you. I'm in the part of Atlanta that you never see on TV. I'm in the part of Atlanta that they scared to show on the movies. It's just like Queens. It's just like the Bronx. It's just like Brooklyn. And I still stand outside and say the same thing. The question is, are they willing to receive it? Will they be in the mood to forgive? Will they be in the mood to hear? For he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit has to say. Everybody don't want to hear humble yourself. Everybody don't want to hear you have to be patient. Everybody don't want to hear forgiveness. Right now, good morning, Miss Precious. Right now, everybody want to hear where the check at. And when can we go back outside? Nobody wants to hear for those that are called by my name if they humble themselves. Nobody wants to hear turn from your wicked ways and I heal the land that you in. Because even speaking about New York just put up the Arch of Baal. They sacrifice babies in New York. It's a certain parts of the city is a haven for demons. Nobody trying to hear what I'm talking about. If I ain't telling nobody how they can get a stimulus check or when we going back to work, don't nobody want to hear what I'm talking about. But I'm going to keep talking because people like you who come on the show, I can give you the info. You know how to relate it to those that you deal with so they can understand it. And then it's easy to bring them up. Where's that 1,200 and when can we go outside is what they're asking. Exactly. And that's everywhere. Good morning, Miss Smith. But to tell somebody, God is going to allow you to love 3 times a day, or a few times a day. Love what? Then you have to take in consideration, what do you love? Because I know a lot of people who say they love God, but then they'll turn around and curse you out, Jay. They'll say, oh man, I don't like him. I hate him. Then Jesus said, how can you love God who you never seen, but hate Jay who walked down your block every day? And don't get me wrong, Jay. I like how Portia ended it. She said, sometimes you might not succeed, but at least try. So like you said, I can come out to New York and say what I want, see who's going to change. I made that effort. Because everybody is not going to receive. Because what I learned is, this ain't for everybody. Real love ain't for everybody. Some people want Hollywood TV love. They want radio love. They want the Real Housewives love. They don't want pure, unadulterated, unconditional love. You know, Jay, I'm pretty sure you've been in situations where you tried to help somebody, love somebody, and they can't get out of their own mindset for you to even give a helping hand, for you to even say something nice.
Everybody doesn't want that, and it's not for everybody. Don't they say everything is not for everybody?
Everything is not for everybody, but love was meant for everybody. It's just a matter of, go ahead, we're going to get into that.
Hey, Miss Barbara, she said getting real deep, maybe too deep for some people.
Oh, we going to get deep. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Miss Barbara, I'm still in the 3 feet. Mama Queen about to throw y'all out in the ocean. Good morning, Steve. Everybody don't want to take the love, Jay. But if you're willing to hear, if you're willing to just take a glimpse, it can change some people's life. This type of love has saved a lot of lives. Brought a lot from prison, brought a lot from the grave. But that requires you to have what they call faith. The substance of things hoped for the things that are not seen. So to believe in something that you don't see, to believe in a God that you don't see, but you can feel him, you can touch him, you can hear him. I guarantee you that. I'll put the 1,200 on that. That little stimulus, 1,200. I'll put that on that. You can hear him, you can feel him. Oh, and you can see him too. You can see things move. You can see doors open. You can see things happening. You can see things changing. Your words change, where you hang out, the things you don't do no more, how you carry yourself. Oh, you can see it. You can feel it. I'll put the whole 1,200 on it. Good morning, Miss Page. But that's only if you are willing to give him the opportunity to use you. That's only if you're willing to give him the opportunity to come in. That's only if you're willing to have an ear to hear. I'm supposed to be on Miss Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom. This ain't even my day. This is Mama Queen of Love series. So, Miss Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom says, God will give you the opportunity to love a few times a day. They won't always be people you like. It could be people you like but fall short. It might mean forgiveness. It might mean patience. It might require humility. But God will give you the chance to show his love. Not what you think is love, but his love through you. Life's too short, y'all, life is too short not to take him up on the offer. Sometimes you might not succeed, but at least try. So that's Miss Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom for this morning. I almost sat here and started preaching. This ain't my day. This ain't my day. This ain't my day. Bad when you got a studio audience. So we gonna take a break. And when we come back, we gonna come back with the Mama Queen of Love series. And speaking of love, here's my man Glenn Travis with Feel My Love. And we'll be back right after this.
Someone told me love was only in the movies. It don't exist in real life these days, no. But you showed me if I only just find the faith I need to believe. Anything is possible if you want it bad enough, know the sky ain't too high. Test your limits. You can feel unstoppable, incredible. Almost there, I can see. I'm so ready. This has gotta be tonight. That dreams come true. Everything feels just right. Yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? I'ma how you like. Did you feel my love? Oh, yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? Hey, someone told me it's unlikely to do all the things you wanna do, 'cause life just ain't fair now. But don't be lonely, find somebody, then it won't be so hard for you to see that anything is possible. If you want it bad enough, know the sky ain't too high. Test your limits. You can feel unstoppable, incredible. Almost there, I can see. I'm so ready. This has gotta be tonight. The dreams come true. Everything feels just right. Yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? I'ma how you like. Did you feel my love? Oh, yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? Everything that I've ever wanted right in front of me. Not a dream, eyes wide open. Girl, I'm here, and I'm coming in. Doors are closing. I won't run, 'cause I'm chosen. I won't run, 'cause I know that this has gotta be tonight. The dreams come true. Everything feels just right. Yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? I'ma how you like. Did you feel my love? Oh, yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love?
When you take 7 shields, 7 natural ingredients come together. This is how your immune system works. To fight against anything that comes your way. 7 shields is the body's first defense. Get yours at 7shields.com.
Yeah. Welcome back to the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show. Steve got a question for you, Mama Queen. Why you shaking your head? Hello. Hey, Mama Queen. Ah. Ugh. Y'all women too quick. I need y'all to slow down just a little bit.
All right.
Got you,
So we're
Steve,
back.
Steve.
So we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Okay, so I actually dreamed about this topic and was somewhat led. And we are somewhat going to jump off in the deep, and I'm going to do what I do and be transparent. So Quarantine, social distancing, and isolation. I kind of wanted to say something else, but it might not have been uh,
Appropriate.
appropriate.
We do it
Uh,
appropriate here.
Social distancing and isolation. Okay, so I am somewhat of a hermit. I like to be by myself. I love being by myself. I have learned to love me, so I don't have to have people constantly around me and talking to me. But I also love relationship and being in relationship with people. So you do have to have a wonderful balance, which is learned. Everybody does not have balance, and right now with the social distancing, it's put a lot of people in a state of isolation and seclusion. Now, for some people, it works, and for some people, it does not. It works for some people, such as myself, who are acclimated to being by themselves. I'll get more into depth in that. But at the same time, it works for people who have families in the house with them, because they still have the personal interaction. It also cannot work for people who have families with them that have the personal interactions, because those relationships may be toxic and may not have the same response as a non-toxic relationship. Uh, and then you have those who are by themselves and not okay with being by themselves. So they are truly battling a mind battle, a battle of the mind, in which when you're battling a mind battle, you've already lost if you're the only one who's helping yourself. I hope that was not confusing, but let me clarify it just in case it was. If you're in a mind battle and you're the only one talking to yourself, you've already lost the battle, because you're telling yourself all the negative thoughts. One thing that I have not noticed is that no one's talking about the amount of suicides, mental breakdowns, the other side of this social distancing and isolation that is going on. So there's a good and a bad, but there has to be a balancing of what's going on. Gov said, and I started to go here prematurely, but Gov said that everybody does not, love is not for everybody. Well, he said this type of love is not for everybody. And I have to argue with that, because the Bible says that love is for everybody. And God's love, which is agape love, is unconditional, and it is for everybody. But the problem is that everybody does not want to receive it. And that goes into a whole nother subject of why people do not want to receive not only God's love, but love at all. I've also been doing studying on people not being able to receive those things such as love, kindness, um, patience, the positives, the positive characteristics that people display to other people because of their past, in which your past also plays a big part in social distancing and isolation. Because everybody has issues that start from their past. If it were not for your past, you wouldn't have memories of the bad things, uh, which would not affect and cause your reactions to be that of what they are. If you grew up in a broken home, let me not say that because we all had some type of dysfunction in our homes. So let me be more specific. If you grew up in a home where there was possibly violence, then you became somewhat numb to the violence, or it became a normal part of your life. And if you grew up in like domestic violence, for example, then you probably became out. And when you go into relationships, you look for dysfunctional relationships, such as those where domestic violence is natural because you don't know how to have a normal or per se a healthy relationship where someone is not either beating on you or emotionally or mentally abusing you. So this social distancing, it it also stems from your past because, and I'm going to use myself as an example, I have always been somewhat of a seclusive or hermit, for lack of better words, because I've always been pretty much by myself. And being by myself, even through high school and on, I had no problem in interacting with groups or with people. I absolutely love people. But you won't see me just in a big crowd just to be there talking, laughing, and going on. That's not who I am. I'd much rather be sitting in the corner by myself in peace and quiet, talking to maybe one person, two people, but groups I'm not going to do. And it's affected my relationship, as everything affects some part of everyone's relationship. Right now, currently, the person that I am with is more of a talker and more of a outgoing person than I am. So I can sit in the house for days and I don't have to say two words and I'm good. Whereas that may make him feel uncomfortable. The lack of um, communication or the feeling of being needed would be missing for him, but not for me. Because I've always been like that and I've trained myself. I don't have to have anybody in the house with me, and I'm ace boon coon 100. But then there's people on the other side of the spectrum who, right now, because they've never had to be by themselves, or because of things that have happened to them, they prefer not to be by themselves. They are probably losing their mind if they don't have any kids or a spouse or a brother or sister or parent in the house with them. They don't know what to do with themselves. So people are still trying to find things to do in this time, which goes back to what Jay was saying and Gov was saying, with people still having to be out. They have to find something that is going to give them the satisfaction of some kind of personal interaction, which is good because personal interaction keeps us where we need to be with one-on-one relationships. It bothers me how people have become so comfortable, with the social media being their life. There are people who are seclusive. They are secluded by choice, not just by this isolation quarantine. And they live their whole lives through social media. That's their way of having friends. That's their personal interaction. But then you have to look at, are they doing it because they're trying to hide it? They're trying to live a life that is not real. Because when you live that type of life, nobody actually has to see who you are. Nobody actually has to see how you live. You can be and live anything in any way that you want to be. So living, Gap Teeth Music said, could it also be that for some they are tired of being in the house? It absolutely can be that they're tired of being in the house. But if you think about those who have never stayed in the house, why is it a problem to stay in the house for 1, 2, 3 days? Hiding behind the screen, absolutely, Steve. So, like I said, there's a delicate balance that has to be taken into consideration because we do need time alone. We do need time to sit and process. That's just natural. Even in being in relationships with your spouse, you still have to be able to have that time where you or the opposite can go out and do things without the spouse. That's just healthy relationship. Being together 24/7, 365 days, that is not healthy. I'm going to be the one to tell you that is not healthy. You've got to have some kind of space where you can literally decompress and be, not that you're not being you with that person, but you need to decompress and get away from all of everything and everyone. For me, that is my time when I am literally giving my time between me and God or me and me, where I can bounce my ideas off of myself and bounce my ideas off of God, and we can talk in communication, and then I can come back with a fresh mind and a fresh perspective. But at the same time, I know that I need companionship, relationship with others. You have to have healthy relationships in your life. And I do say healthy relationships. Yeah, all relationships have some form of dysfunction. That is the truth, period, point blank. But you have to have healthy relationships. And because we're flawed, we were born into sin, we're going to have dysfunction. That's just period. Now, I was saying that I'm good with being by myself. And I'm good with being by myself because I know that even when I am sitting in a totally empty house, I am never alone. So I don't have loneliness that creeps up. I don't have loneliness that comes in and just takes over my world because my God says he will never leave you nor forsake you. He says that even when you can't see me, I am with you. So even when I'm sitting in the peace and quiet, I will find myself in a place where no one's there, but I can still sense that someone's there, which gives me a peace because I know I'm not alone. Or I'll be sitting there and then all of a sudden thoughts will come to me and I know that they're not actually my thoughts. I'm not big enough to think these thoughts, or I'm not big enough to actually have these desires or dreams, but I know that God has placed them within me for me to move on or to look up stuff and further where I am at that point. Whereas if you don't have a relationship with God, yeah, you'll have somebody talking to you. Oh yeah. You definitely gonna have somebody talking to you. Now to say it's gonna be the right things that they're talking to you about, or that you are having the right thoughts, yeah, that's a whole nother situation. Because even to in order to be able to sit by yourself and have the correct thoughts, you first have to learn how to turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts. You have to first learn how to even think properly. Again, going back to the past, because our past will um, affect every thought that you have. I was watching a video of this guy, and I can't remember, it was a while back, but he was saying that children, by the time they become adults, have already heard the no like some number of million times. So you have already programmed them unconsciously and subconsciously to have negative thoughts versus them hearing yes and consciously programming them to positive thoughts. And that is so true when it comes to being human. Most of us hear no and are conditioned to the word no, that your thoughts become negative automatically and you don't even realize it. Children, babies, God says you have to be as a child when it comes to him. And that means children are so pliable. They can be let down, sad one moment, and the next moment they'll be happy and moving around like nothing ever happened. Because they think that anything is possible. And they do have somewhat of the invincibility complex where they think that nothing will ever happen to them. Now, I'm not one to break a spirit, but it still has to be a balance because we do have to understand we're not invincible, but yet we still have to have that mindset that anything is possible. We cannot allow the things that have uh, happened in our lives to make us stop dreaming, to make us stop wanting better, to make us not believe that we can still be anything that we set our minds to, or we can accomplish anything that we set our minds to. One thing that I love about salespeople, and I don't even know how I got on this, one thing that I love about salespeople is that they count the number of no's to know when they're going to get a yes. The more no's they get, they know that they are that much closer to getting a yes. So their no's don't discourage them. It actually encourages them and motivates them to press harder. Versus the normal mind that hears no all the time, and boom, because we've heard no, now we don't even try anymore. It goes back to a couple of other sessions that we have where I said it's all about your perspective. But all of this goes into the social distancing. All of this goes into isolation because it all plays a part in the battle of the mind. It was funny. I was talking to a girlfriend and I was like, wow, if we keep up this social distancing, that means nobody is any longer dating. No one is any longer, well, physically dating. That means there's no longer going out to eat. There's no longer going to the movies. There's no midnight rendezvous. Guess what? Population control in effect. It might help with the teen pregnancy. It might help with, the unplanned pregnancies. I would say between those who don't live together. Because some of y'all gonna be married that's gonna pop up with some babies in the next 9 months.
Baby booming season is in effect.
I'm just gonna pray for y'all, all right? Because I know I ain't in that category. So I'm just gonna pray for y'all. How about that? Yep, no babies over here. Don't want no more. We good. I'm just saying. But it puts a whole nother spin on the personal interaction. Ain't none of this, y'all, ain't none of this by accident. Nothing is by accident. But the Bible says what's meant for evil, I will turn it around for your good. But in order for that to work, you have to know him and understand, how can this turn around for my good? For me, I look at this as I'm no longer having to drive 3 to 4 hours in traffic back and forth to work. That alone is enough to make me shout all over my house. I'm from Savannah, and that alone is a trip to Savannah every day. Know how many miles I save on my car, how much gas I save? Yes, Lord, yes. And then when I do get home, I'm too tired to cook. I'm too tired to do anything. So my children are the ones who suffer on the other side. So I'm at home with my kids. I'm making sure they're getting what they need. For some of y'all, wishing these little children would go back to school because you didn't realize how bad they were. But for me, I knew my kids. Even not being home with them every day, I know my kids. I knew my kids, and I already know how they are. So I was prepared. And no, my kids are not some little heathens running around because they know their mama will yoke them up and throw them to a wall. Yep, you can take that to the bank. That's not a threat. That's a promise. Anybody at defects, you can mark my word on that one. Come see me. We good. Because you're not gonna see mine in court. We good. But back to subject at hand. I'm sorry, I got off for a minute. This time I'm enjoying it with my family. I'm enjoying everything that some people are seeing as a disruption. Hey, to me, it's a mending. And it really should be amending. Like right now, families should be learning one another, whereas you couldn't spend time with your family because you were too busy in the streets working, running the streets, or whatever. Half of y'all didn't even know your kids before this happened because they're not who they used to be when they were babies or they were toddlers. I promise you, they're not. Y'all are gaining a different type of respect for the teachers and the administration at the school.
These parents know how bad their children was. That's why
Now,
they send them to school.
some of them actually did not, because they never took the time to do that. Think about it. If these kids go to school, if you are dropping your kids off at 6 o'clock in the morning at daycare, you have to be to work, let's say 8 o'clock. That means you don't get off until 5 o'clock. You may not pick your kids up till 6, 7. That means by the time you get home, you're feeding them, giving them a bath, and they're getting into bed if they're on that type of schedule. Then you have those who send them to school, send them to daycare. They there from 6 to 6 or 6 to 7, depending on what time the daycare closes. They get home and they run the house. The kids is running the house. And the parents are either out or in their room. They really didn't care to be bothered. So who really? Do they really know their kids? And this was an everyday thing.
I give you that.
School and daycares have become just that. They've become the nanny of the house. They spend more time with people's kids than people do themselves. So now you locked up with these kids. They waking you up. They with you all day until you go to bed. You ain't got no choice but to figure this out. Period. Now, for some, this is not a good situation, and those babies and those relationships I pray for. Because on the other flip side of that, some people who are not mentally stable or have addictions or abusive relationships and situations, you have to pray for their safety and prayerfully their escape. Because being in quarantine and having to be forced somewhere where people do not want to be will cause them to be more violent. Steve said, one thing parents have learned, it is hard to be a real parent 24/7. Absolutely. Absolutely. Being a parent is a job in itself if you are an actual parent.
So it might not be no baby booming.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a baby boom because for some people that's their release. That's their release. I'm just saying. All right, on that note, we gonna take a break, y'all. We gonna come back in just a few minutes and continue this conversation.
We'll be back with more of the Wake, Bake, and Coffee Morning Show, live with Georgia's first black governor.
When you take 7 Shields, 7 natural ingredients come together. This is how your immune system works. To fight against anything that comes your way. 7 Shields is the body's first defense. Get yours at 7shields.com.
Don't care where we go. I just want to be with you. I don't care where we be. I just want you here with me. I just want to be with you, with you, with you, with you. I just want you with me, just with me. as at the park, somewhere in between the light and the dark. Cause I am the spark inside of your heart. You get me the moon, I buy you stars. And I don't care where we go. Japan, Tokyo, the rich, dead, broke. You want it, here go. Baby, that's what I'm here for. Say the word and we can't go. Surrender and let's go. Oh.
You and me, from the coast to the now, the part the Red Sea. Travel through the stars to another galaxy. Down the rabbit hole, up the yellow brick road. Twist our faith like it turn into a soul. Just as the wind blows, see how it goes. I don't care where we go. I just want to be with you. I'll follow you there, that perfect pair. So rare, double the dares. We wear, I care, I'm here, I'm there. My love, I promise, yeah, I pinky swear.
Yeah, y'all know this could not be the love series if we didn't give you the love series theme song. So here's Mama Quita's somebody. Here's my man Sean Isaac with Love You Harder. We'll be right back right after this.
Tell me something I need to know, then take my breath and never let it go. If you just let me invade your space, I'll take this pleasure and take it with the pain. And if in the moment I bite my lips, baby, in the moment you know this is something bigger than us being bliss. Give me a reason to believe in it. And if I want to keep you, I gotta to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I gotta to love you harder. Love you harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Harder, 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 harder. I know your motives and you know mine. The ones who love me, I tend to leave behind. If you know about me and choose to this pleasure and take it with the pain. And if in the moment you bite your lip, when I get you moaning, you know it's real. Can you feel the pressure between your hips? I'll make you feel like the first time. And if I want to keep you, I got to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I gotta got to love you harder. Love you harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Harder, 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 harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Harder, 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 harder. So what do I do if I can't figure it out? I gotta try again. Oh, so what do I do if I can't figure it out? Said I'ma leave again. Said I got to love you, babe. Said I gotta love you, babe. And if I really need you, I got to love you harder. Love you harder. And if I want to keep you, I gotta to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I gotta to love you harder. Love you harder. Yeah. Love you, love you, love you. Harder, harder, harder.
This is so sketch.
Love you, love you, love you, love you.
You're back at it again.
Harder, 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 harder.
ODLTL.
Y'all know what time it is.
Hey y'all, allow me to introduce myself. I'm
Mama Quita.
and this here is the Mama Quita's Love Series.
Y'all know what time it is.
So grab your pen and your pad and put on your thinking caps, and let's get down to this relationship business.
Y'all know what time it is.
Mama Quita's Love Series.
Yeah, y'all know what time it is. Welcome back to the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show. We're here live from the ATL to the world over. The Mama Quita Love Series. She said, ooh, this is a sexy song. Yes, that's the theme song to the Love Series. Mr. Sean Isaac, good morning, Miss Harris. Like I said, I'm not even seeing all the comments. Like, Low Daddy will comment. I'll see it in the box, but it won't pop up on Facebook until like 3-4 minutes later. And yes, Low Daddy, I did get to see a glimpse of a Eunice video. She hit me on Twitter. So I just need. I'm trying to figure out a way to get the copy. Oh. So we back live, ladies and gentlemen. It's on you, Mama Quita.
Okay. You said Miss Harris. You said, "Hey, Miss Harris." I don't see her.
Yeah,
A lot of stuff.
Miss Harris she's on Facebook. She's commenting. I just don't see. It's coming up in the collection box. It's not. I don't see it on Facebook myself either.
Yeah, because I don't see it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. There we go. Well, hey y'all. Those who I can't see and those who I can see. Hi. Okay, so getting back to where we were on this social distancing and isolation. So I'm just curious. Has this had an effect on anyone? Oh shoot. I'm about to ask this question, but I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to see the answers.
Why?
Okay. Effect, has this isolation and social distancing affected anyone, rather negative or positively? Like, I'm just interested. All right, good. Can they hear you?
Oh, can y'all hear me? I guess yeah. I'm unmuted.
Okay. So, what you got to say?
Nothing. I just need for y'all to come on in and comment and answer Mama Quita question. I mean, for me, I don't have a problem being by myself. As long as I got some music or a book, I'm pretty much good.
Excuse me. All right, that was pretty nasty.
That was sexy.
Low Daddy said, "I take that as a no."
Now, I mean, for me, I guess because like for me, I don't really have a problem. Like I read, I'm researching. We trying to get the show back on. So for me, the day, only thing that has changed about my day is I'm not physically going to a actual location. I my mom's isolate herself. Long as she got her balls and now I gave her a pair of headphones, it's almost like she's not even here. So she got her computer, she got her internet on, she good. So for me is nothing has really changed. The only thing that has changed for me is that I'm not actually leaving. I'm still, for me, I consider it a blessing because it gave me an opportunity to create. I'm still creating. I'm still being able to utilize, as you said earlier in the inspirational rant, if you don't lose it, you'll lose it. So I'm still utilizing the gifts and the talents. I'm still in prayer. So I don't never feel alone. And then too, when I really want to be by myself, I typically go where I go anyway, which is outside to the back, and then I isolate myself from everything. So it's not really a bother. So I just want to know, can y'all cash out with some of that 1,200, to help support the show? It's in the Cash App information is in the description box for my people who got 1,200. Show some love and help support the show. It's some things that we need to do, some things that we trying to build on. So some new commercials and things like that. So y'all can just Cash App us $10, $15. Right. Miss Mom Maya said I'm in the house a lot anyway, so it's not that bad. Her real name is Maya. It's spelled backwards. Work with me now. Work with me. Work with me. Okay. So I'm in the house a lot anyway, so it's not that bad. But y'all know it's basically summertime, so people getting antsy.
Right. Like, it's been, man, yesterday was such a beautiful day. Like, oh my goodness, it was beautiful. And I got up after work and me and my kids went to Walmart and we came back and I was like, I'm not ready to go in the house yet. But my allergies did not permit me to stay out too much longer because they was kicking my butt. But I was just like, man, it's a beautiful day. And, everybody got their 1,200. So I didn't feel like cooking yesterday. I was like, okay, so what we going to eat? And one of my girlfriends called me. She went to the Juicy Crab. They had literally like a line, like a crowd outside of the building. And then some other places, like you could literally see the people. Like, I was like, dang, these folks, they got some money. They ready to eat. Ain't nobody want to cook. So social distancing kind of went out the door yesterday. Like, everybody was up on each other.
But if you think about it, I think that was the ploy for the stimulus package anyway. It's like we lock the economy down, we get these folks some money, they're gonna go out. But if you think about it, if you live in the city of Atlanta like I do, like I live in the city, So people are still outside. They're still on the belt line. The parks are still overcrowded. It looks like a normal, typical day in Atlanta, minus the traffic.
It does, but the thing is, like now, what I've noticed is that it's more family interaction. Like now you can see more families and more healthy things going on versus everybody being in a car driving.
Right.
Everybody's out walking.
And that's just like Ms. Mighty said, the backyard has become their best friend. Her and the girls, they got a little trampoline, they got some yard toys to play with. So and I agree with you on that because it has forced this quarantine has kind of forced people to go back to look at what's truly important. It has
Absolutely. Like you know it. I don't know. I don't know what the government actually meant for it to do, but I know that God has turned it around to bring families back together, to bring families closer, to put things back in order. Um, the order was family first. Hey, Tam.
Good morning,
The
Tam.
order was the order is supposed to be God, family, work, all the other stuff. Well, guess what? Everybody had replaced God with work, even their family and their kids and all of that extra stuff. So, yeah, you know what? We finna turn this around. Let's put everything back in perspective. You can't go to work. Now you got to be at home with the family. You got to now know your kids. You got to now know your spouse because you done been together for 15, 20 years. You don't even know each other no more. She said school ran late. I'm not fooling with you.
No, because I think she's in class. I think she's taking online class.
Right.
But take this, but it also puts you in a situation to even put God back in perspective.
Absolutely. Because, the whole, and I don't know if this is where you were going with this, but the whole panic about the pandemic itself made people turn back to God. Like folks who, people were already looking for truth. They were already looking for God. That's what I thought she was talking about. Did homeschooling. That's what I thought. But people were already looking for a truth. They were already looking for some kind of peace in this world of foolishness that we live in. So this pandemic, people were already, you can't get it in your high. You can't get it in your drink. You can't get it being drunk. Right. You can't get it from sex. None of these things is going to protect you from no matter of fact, the pandemic said, yeah, now we're going to put you and your person or whoever you usually get drunk and high with or running around having sex with, we're going to put y'all in 2 separate rooms and keep y'all from each other at this point.
And not even just seeking to find God, but to also build faith. Because think about it. A lot of people didn't know what the money was going to look like. A lot of people didn't know where the next meal was coming from. A lot of people didn't know if they was going to be able to get butt paper,
Well, I was getting to that. You're absolutely correct.
Hey, Mama.
He took away everything else that you could, anything that you could have possibly put your faith in, or you could have possibly depended on, has been snatched away, that you can only have him to depend on.
Right. Because even Gap Teeth Music said on YouTube, sometimes being alone is a person builder. It gives you time to find peace, and God can be found in silence.
Exactly. Big
up the Gap Teeth Music.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. Hey, Gap. Yeah. You. I'm just playing. But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Tam said, yep, this made everyone sit down. And God is so funny. He has a sense of humor about everything. I don't know if y'all know that, but God has a sense of humor. So you have to be able to sit back and look at things for what they are, not necessarily for how your opinion says they are, but for what they actually are. You can't do nothing to control. And then this is also something that a lot of people struggle with is everybody wants to be in control of everything. Yeah, well, he snatched that control back and said you're not.
Right. Even the government couldn't be in control.
Exactly. You're
And
not in control.
and
You
I
have no control.
and I think because since the government wasn't allowed to be in control or they couldn't control the situation, that caused people to panic. And as we
Mhm.
and as we've always said on this show, it's better to rely on God than to rely on government. See,
Right.
right. So since the government had no answers, there was nothing they can do. That caused panic because you're looking to them to help you as opposed of looking to God for help. So I enjoyed this quarantine. Nice little vacation, you know. Hey, but you know what else
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say? This has also caused people to really see themselves. And it also has caused people to see what their next move or opportunity should be. If your eyes were that open. And I'm
Right.
sorry, Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara told me I'm too deep today, but
Right. That's for the ones who are willing to see. You have to be in a place, and I think this whole pandemic actually helped humble quite a few people. It humbled quite a few people who thought that they were doing the darn thing and everything was snatched from them, and they had to realize, wait a minute. And you're absolutely right, Stevie. Steve, there are going to be so many new believers in this time. And the funny thing is, on that note, um, things will never go back to what it used to be. There has definitely been a paradigm shift. There has been a shift in the spirit and the physical, and things will never go back to what they used to be.
but let me ask you
And
this question.
because,
Oh
mhm,
no, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. Ask me what you were going to say.
Why would you want it to go back to what it used to be?
Because people are afraid of moving forward. We had this conversation not too long ago about being stuck in the past.
Right.
People are afraid of moving forward. And that goes along again with the whole not being in control because we don't know what the future holds. It's easier to stay where I am or move backwards because I'm not sure what's going to pan out in the front. Like I was saying, people look at their past and their past is all that they know. So that's what they make their moves from. So now we're coming over this pandemic where everybody was scared. You're going to see people who, even after everything lets up, and it is going to let up because this is not a permanent thing as of yet. When we move forward, you're still going to see people who are going to who have become OCD with worrying about germs and still walking around with masks on and still walking around with right. Absolutely. Not to say that some of these habits not to say that these are habits that we should have already been in what is the word? We should have already been using. Yes, but some people have become OCD with it and it's going to be an issue. Whereas instead of having a healthy move forward, it's going to hold a lot of people back. And just thinking about now, I'm wondering if now people are going to start taking their own destinies into their hands. Are you going to move out on these businesses that God have placed in you for you to start on your own.
Right.
You see how easily your sense of security, because a lot of people had security in just their jobs, how easily was that snatched from you in a day?
Good morning, Miss Denise. And Miss Maya says, seems like the earth is recovering, which is true because they said that the war in Italy cleared up so quick because people wasn't in it. The water has cleared. A lot of things have went back to how they used to be. So she said, seems like the earth is recovering. So if we go back to the way things were going to realize how bad we treated the world. People like safety. She also said people like safety and normalcy. Normalcy.
Absolutely.
Change means we have to work hard and do better. I like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because change means I now have to literally look at myself. I have to take responsibility for the things that have happened. Because even though, let's say my job got taken away, yeah, well, if I lost my job, prior to that, was I already warned that I needed to find another way of income?
But people ignore that, Mama Quita.
Yeah, right.
Well,
but that's you have to think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say let me take that back. Some people don't know when it's time to go, and some people, like Maya said, that safety and that normalcy, they will hold on. So, and a lot of people can't recognize when God is saying move. So I'm not.
Well, I'm gonna take a minute to be transparent, because I know for me, I've been in a place where I've lost everything twice. No roof over my head, no car, no nothing, and I have 3 kids. And for me, the first time, I always unconsciously or subconsciously, I equate that with my ex-husband and what happened with my first marriage. Now, no, that's not fair. And I had to do my healing and come to the conclusion that no, it was not fair, because my first marriage was not hell, but we just weren't meant to be together. And yes, I did go through things, and no, he's not perfect, just like I'm not perfect. But it's not fair for me to hang on to what I went through with him, and now I've carried this. I'm 2000. I'm 10 years in, and I'm still holding on to everything that I lost, or the fear that I had after going through that. Now here I am in a whole nother relationship, and it's like, okay, you're still hanging on to certain fears that you got out of that first marriage. And God is saying, yeah, but I'm trying to do a new thing. So how long are you going to hang on to those? Are you going to trust me? Are you going to have faith in me? Or are you going to continue to be in fear? Because last time I checked, perfect love casted out all fear. So if I'm telling you you're walking in my normal, you're walking in what I have directed your path to be, are you really trusting me? And Maya says, gotta let things go to move forward and be happy, content. Absolutely. But the thing is, a lot of times we're doing it subconsciously and you don't even realize it. Like, I had this epiphany just this week. Like, really, you still hanging on to God literally was like, yeah, but this is why you can't move forward even in your engagement. Like, you can't move forward because you're still hanging on to what could be, should be, might be, because of what happened the first time. And I'm telling you, I got you. So I didn't realize it, but unconsciously, subconsciously, yeah, I was still somewhat sabotaging what was already in front of me. So in that perspective, a lot of people are going to still be hanging on to what's happened in the past, which because this quarantine will then be in the past, they're going to be stuck and they're not going to be able to move forward in what God has now changed and shifted the atmosphere into. And let me give y'all a warning. The Bible says this is just the beginning of sorrow. So things are not necessarily gonna get, well, I'm not gonna even say not necessarily. Things are not gonna get better, which is gonna make people again start seeking God. They're gonna be looking for relief. Now, whether or not their motives are right, yeah, I'm gonna tell you now, their motives are not gonna be right because they're gonna be just basically looking for the same relief as if they were looking for drugs or they were looking for sex or they were looking for alcohol. They're gonna be looking for the same relief, but when they find God, it's gonna be totally different. He says, you drink of this water, you'll never thirst again. Guess what? They're going to find that safety that they've been looking for. And when people open their minds, either you're going to find it and you're going to latch onto it or you're going to reject it. And I'm telling you, now is not the time to reject because things are not taking years. I remember at one point when you would do stuff to people or people would do stuff to you, if you understood God's word that said, vengeance is mine, it might take you 4-5 years to see something happen to them. Yeah, now things has happened immediately.
Quick.
Like there's no years going on. Now you do this thing today, it's gonna come to pass tomorrow. Stop playing. It might hit you today. Stevie Steve, Ms. Harris says, speak the truth. Stevie Steve said, point is we have to be prepared for anything, but we must live life. Yes, you are to live life. God said, I came that you would have life and have it more abundantly. He came that we would have life and we would enjoy it. But you've got to enjoy it. But you've got to enjoy it in the right context. He put us on this earth. All of us are here with a purpose. And when you die and that time comes and you've got to stand before the king, and I don't care if you don't agree, everybody's going to stand before him. And everybody's going to take an account for everything that you've done, whether it be words that were in vain, whether it be actions that you've taken. You've got to understand your purpose here. You have to fulfill it. And if you're running from that purpose and you refuse to, you're going to be taken out really simple. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Either you're going to take yourself out or the enemy going to take you out. Because he's going to have you so wrapped up in stuff that will kill you or you'll kill yourself. Because you're going to be looking and seeking for happiness in things that will never give you happiness. You're going to be seeking for peace in things that will never give you peace. And in this isolation, people are looking for peace and can't get it. God says, if he be lifted up, he shall draw all men unto himself. And in this time, he is knocking down anybody who is preaching that bubblegum word and not making you take accountability for what you're doing. It is time out for all of that.
The money changers.
And with that being said, I know this is not what you meant, but I'm going to say this. The wealth of the wicked is being laid up for the righteous. So you better believe there's about to be a distribution, a change in where the wealth is lying. I'm not a prosperity preacher. I don't believe in all of that. What I believe is that God is a just God, and when you do what's right, he's going to reward you with what you're supposed to have. And that's just the law. Law is you do those things to get what you're supposed to have, you're going to have it. See, God's word is his word. Whether you use it for good or bad, it still got to come to pass.
Pretty much.
You can be the most wicked person in the world, but if you understand the law of giving, you could be the most wicked person in the world, but if you're a giver, you're going to receive. If you bless folks, that blessing is going to come back to you. But that does not mean that you're going to make it into where you need to be in heaven after you leave this earth. So in this time, we really need to be paying attention to what's going on and really seeking God for what we're supposed to be doing when we come out of this. Because when we come out of this, things are going to be totally different. There is not going to be a normal to go back to that you remember. It's going to be a brand new normal. And just in case y'all didn't know, we are already under martial law, and I don't think it's going to end anywhere.
Why would we do that?
It's just at a light phase right now. So again, our new normal is here. Uh-oh.
Somebody baby just got taken.
Yep, somebody's baby just got taken. Well, that's phone number one, phone number two. Okay. So
Sorry about that.
yeah, they phones going off too. It don't even matter.
Not those that's out of Georgia. Miss Harris' phone might be going off. Miss Maya, Tamra, Josh phone might be going off. Stevie Steve ain't. He like what's going on?
Amber alert, absolutely. Steve said, "I'm still my pillows." I'm just saying. I'm not even gonna respond to you, Steve. You keep on with your pillows, but we'll keep on with your pillows. Sleep soundly. How about that? But we're definitely in a new place. I'm praying that this isolation, in my prayers, I am constantly praying for the mind battle that is going on right now. I am constantly praying for those who are in isolation and are definitely in loneliness. Because if you don't know God, you are definitely in loneliness. If you in the house by yourself, you are. And then for some of y'all, you are in the house with your spouse and you're still lonely.
No touchy.
It is what it is.
No touchy feely.
Or you're in the house with your kids and you are still lonely. And the problem is 9 times out of 10, not them, it is you, because you're not happy with yourself. But that's a whole nother show. Well, y'all know me. That goes back to that beginning basics. Figure out yourself. And had some of y'all figured out yourself before this social distancing, y'all would have been all right. But we're not gonna preach on that right now. That's a whole nother situation. That can be true.
I
done said so much, Miss Harris, I don't even know what.
She's probably telling the last thing you said.
Oh, okay, cool beat. So yeah, we're in a different time. Prayerfully, some of y'all got what y'all needed and are where y'all need to be. If not, stop. If not, Mr. Clare said, "Are we really isolated? I believe we are in position to perfect our hearts with more focus on God. In return, that will allow us as a body of Christ to collectively seek God together, and we'll be able to have more access to God and open to his promises we haven't seen." Oh, Miss Harris said you about to start something. Steve, and please, I hope the new followers will not give their money to these fake religious people.
No, you
Hey,
can send it to us here at the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show. We not fake, but we are accepting donations to all you people who did receive, stimulus packages. The Cash App and the PayPal information is in the description box. You can help support the radio show. We're trying to upgrade.
Let me go back to Mr. Sinclair's. What? Okay, there we go. I want to really touch on that. Mr. Clare is absolutely correct. Are we really isolated? Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Some of us are really isolated because we don't have a relationship with God, with Jesus. We don't know. So if you don't have a relationship, yes, you are in true isolation. And I said earlier, somebody talking to you, but it ain't the right voices you hearing. And yes, we are in the perfect position. And just from everything that I have seen, this was all handcrafted by God. He knew what he was doing. Everybody want to place it on Trump. Well, let me tell you this. You can place it on Trump and saying that Trump is horrible. Yeah, whatever. But guess what? This is what I say. God has the last say so. And because of what God has predetermined already, he also predetermined this whole isolation. He says, many are called, few are chosen, but he already has those who are called. He already has those who are chosen, and you're going to come. And for many of you had to be sat down so that you could even just hear him or feel his calling on you in your life. My women's group, as we sat and we have a standing prayer appointment daily since all of this has happened. And one of the young ladies was like, I sat back and I had to look at my life. And one of the guys that she just knew she was crazy for, she pulled him up and found out he is about to serve federal time. And the girl that he was with, she's about to serve time too. And she was like, I have to thank God because that could have been me. See, even in our foolishness and in our wants, God is still covering us when we don't know what he has for us. He'll set us down. He'll allow us to hurt for our good because he knew what he had already called us to. Because he already knows what's down the line that you can't see. For protection and promotion. Protecting us and saving us from ourselves. Because most of the time, if it was just left up to us, we'd be in a ditch somewhere, dead, broke, all that other stuff. But he keeps his hand on us even when we don't know that his hand is on us. So, yeah, a lot of us had to sit down. A lot of us, if we didn't get sat down right now, we would destroy ourselves. We probably would have destroyed ourselves during this whole last month. He saved some people from dying this month because he sat them down. And he's saving some lives right now because of this sit down. And some people are going to elevate. Some people who Miss Christy Harris says, right, for protection and promotion. Absolutely. And right now, some businesses, God is downloading witty ideas, new inventions, new plans. He's giving people strategies to move them forward right now. So when they come out of this, they're going to be on a whole nother level because they chose to sit down and spend time with him. Because they chose to seek him in this time and hear what he is saying and allow him to move strategically. Again, there's about to be a shift. There are going to be people who have no degrees who are going to have promotion that makes no sense because of strategy. You're going to have people with master's degrees who are going to be upset because folks are coming in out of high school taking their promotions or starting businesses and becoming millionaires because of strategy. So this social distancing could have did one of two things. Either it could have promoted you and got you where you needed to be if you took the time that it was given, or it drove you crazy. And when you come out of here, you're going to really lose your freaking mind. But the choice is up to you, really. It really is. And it's about your perspective, your perception of what's going on. Stevie Steve says, rejuvenating the body and soul. And Miss Harris says, is not their promotion. Absolutely. Again, God knows all things. He already had all of this set up. And far as the body goes, one thing that a lot of people got upset because they were saying that the COVID is hitting the African American people harder than any other race. Well, guess what? I'm gonna say it, and I'm Black. We eat horribly. We don't take care of our health. We don't take care of our bodies. We don't get out and walk. We don't do it. So guess what? Part of taking you out of here with COVID is health issues, underlying health issues. Half of our African American or Black race has diabetes, has high cholesterol, has high blood pressure, amongst all the other stuff that's going on right now. So how you gonna get mad at the other races or get mad at the Sergeant General because he said take care of Big Mama? Yeah, okay. Half of us do have big mamas, and half of us was raised with eating fatback, pork, a lot of salt. So for a lot of us, we had to sit back and let me take a reality check. What am I eating? What am I putting in my body? Am I getting outside and walking? Am I getting fresh air? Am I getting sun, vitamin D? Yeah. You see all the videos on Facebook about eating properly or taking care of, instead of having all of these medicines, let's start taking care of our bodies naturally. I got a little bit upset when the guy came out and he was doing the steam therapy, and I heard the trash that people were talking. If not for nothing else, I've been doing that for years because of my allergies. This is stuff, but you'd rather go and put ibuprofen, which kills the kidneys and the liver in your body on a regular basis, and now you've got to be on dialysis. Or you'd rather take all of these medicines that these doctors are giving you. You want to get rid of of a cough, and now you've got congestive heart failure, or you've got renal disease because you taking these medicines instead of eating right and getting out there and exercising. Miss Harris says exactly. Move around. Most Black people are vitamin D deficient. Exactly. But had we been in a better state with our bodies and our health, they wouldn't have that to be able to say.
But America as a whole is unhealthy.
It is. America as a whole is unhealthy. But even with looking at that, we are probably the most unhealthiest community of them all. And that's just a reality. That's a fact. And then people want to get mad when it's brought to the light. How you gonna get mad when it's a fact? Miss Harris says, talk. I don't take pain medicines unless I have had surgery, learned about how they affect the kidneys and the liver. Exactly.
Because it's not to help you. It's to get you to come back. It's
all of these medicines are specifically to basically bandage whatever issues you have and make sure you come back. It's for big pharma. It's to make more money. Right. It's not to make you healthy. But if you get on the if you learn how to holistically take care of your body, eat correctly, the fact is you can reverse. Diabetes is reversible. Cancer, we can eradicate cancer. There's even a cure for HIV and AIDS. These are things that you can take care of, but because we don't want to eat right, we don't want to take responsibility for our own lives. We'd rather feed the flesh, have what makes us feel good, and say no to anything that we feel like is going to interrupt. It's my thing, and I do what I want to do.
I'm sorry.
That was my point. You know, we live in a Burger King world. Have it your way, right away. And with I'm living my best life. Yeah, well, living your best life has gotten you to where you are. So let's live our best life with sacrificing. Let's cut back on the sugars. Let's cut back on the processed foods. Let's exercise more so you can actually live to live your best life. Facts. People don't like facts. They don't. Because then they have to look at themselves and say where they're going wrong and take responsibility. Fact. Well, that's our time today, y'all. It's 5 minutes after. I went 5 minutes over. I was trying to stay at 12 p.m. Pain meds tell your pain receptors to shut up. Yep. The pain receptors are like a warning sign that something is wrong in the body. That means we have to get to the root of it. Stop bandaging it. Making it go away for a temporary time and fix the problem altogether. That can be done with eating right. That can be done with exercise. That can be done with mentally. Because a lot of times our mental, and this is a fact, if you can literally think yourself into healing. That's a whole nother show. But it can be done. Mentally. along with the physical application. Again, I told y'all got to learn how to redirect them negative thoughts, turn them into positive, learn how to think, learn how to live, learn how to be, all of that good stuff. All right, but again, we're definitely at 12:05. I love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Love somebody, hug somebody, kiss somebody, smile at somebody. You can make a difference. You know, you got to do it at 6 feet apart now because we're still in social distancing. So, you know, you can wave from afar. Continue to pray for those who, can we see the video that Mama Quita is in one more time? I'm just saying. Continue to pray for those of us who are not in the best of situations right now. Pray their covering, pray their protection, pray for people's minds right now. God, we thank you for the protection and healing in Jesus' name. And we shall see y'all Monday. Good. You got something to say?
I'm going to save it for Monday.
Love y'all.
Yeah, I'm going to save it for Monday. And it will be a part 2 of this quarantine, social distancing, and isolation. We'll do a part 2 on Monday. And we're going to take you, Mama Quita gave you the foundation. I'm going to take you out into the water. So, yeah. And I'm going to answer Mr. Claire's question. Are we truly in isolation? So that's all I got to say. As Mama Quita already said it all. Love somebody, hug somebody. Let God use you today.
Wait, what? What are we waiting on?
I guess he's waiting on you to answer his question.
That's for you to answer. That ain't for me.
I tell you what, Steve. I'll start my closing for today's show on Monday. But to answer your now question, me and Mama Quita will see you on Monday. We gone.
Don't care where we go. I just want to be with you. I don't care where we be. I just want you here with me. I just want to be with you, with you. I just want you here with me, just with me. I don't care where we go. I just want to be with you. I don't care where we be. I just want you here with me. I just want to be with you, with you. I just want you here with me, in the middle of the African Ocean, in the back of the Latin Ocean, in the middle of Atlanta, Louisiana, Alabama, could call you clap open, in the ghetto, the desert, the park, somewhere in between the light and the dark, 'cause I am the spark inside of your heart. You give me the moon, I buy you stars, and I don't care where we go. Japan, Tokyo, the rich, dead, broke. You want it, here go, baby, that's what I'm here for. Say the word and we can't go. Surrender, let's go. Don't care where we go. I just want to be with you. I don't care where we be. I just want you here with me. I just want to be with you, with you. I just want you here with me, with me.
From the seas of the Odyssey to top of Mount Everest for the world to see. Walk China Wall, just you and me. From the coast of the Nile to part the Travel through the stars to another galaxy. Down the rabbit hole, up the yellow brick road. Twist our faith like it turn into a soul. Just as the wind blows, see how it goes. I don't care where we go. I just want to be with you. I'll follow you there, that perfect pair. So rare, double the dares. We wear, I care, I'm here, I'm there. My love, I promise, yeah, I pinky swear. Time to get up and get ready, for the hottest morning show in the ATL. It's the Wake, Bake, and Coffee Morning Show, live with Georgia First Black Governor.